So I'm a descendant of samurai. My family is Buddhist family. For me, religion is like a business. They just only increasing number of followers just to get the money from the believers. I found something different human being I found in Bangladesh. Somebody just simply because they are born in Japan, their health or education was secured. And some people simply born in Bangladesh, they are very poor. I don't feel any justice there. So I found the Quran in Japanese language and I start reading. Then I found very unique concepts of akhirah, that is life after death, and the tawheed, the oneness of God, the creator. Then it makes sense, that is I myself have to become Muslim. My name is Kyoichiro Sugimoto. Sugimoto is my family name. So this belongs to Sugimoto clan. So Sugimoto clan is actually originally it's a samurai clan. So I'm a descendant of samurai. I studied culture anthropology to research different culture, and I found Islam when I was 19 years old. Actually, I do not believe any religion particular. So just name is maybe Buddhist because my family is Buddhist family. But actually there's no religion. Just only culturally, just like normal Japanese, they respect the ancestors. I didn't believe any other religion because for me, like a religion is like a business, which means they just only increasing number of followers just to get the money from the believers. And then, they themselves become so rich. And then, so this is a kind of business. That was my perception before. Most of Japanese people, they feel like this life is the end, so nothing waiting. That is presumption anyway. Yeah, so when I was university student, I met a student from Bangladesh. So he was, for me, is the first Muslim in my life. So he could speak only little Japanese and he need to communicate, right? So I became friend with him because I want to practice English. So we spend time sometimes. Eventually, we are eating together. We have good conversation regarding our life. Then he invited me to visit Bangladesh. When I just after arrived at my friend's house, his family, parents and brother and sister, they welcome me. And they have very good hospitality, friendliness. So this was another culture shock because they respect or value the family. They have extended family system. Still they maintain it. And then later, I visited the more countryside, the village. They are very energetic, they are very living. Yeah, that is something you cannot find in Japan, because everything controlled and then the city life. So when you see the people's eye, in Japan, so many people that their eye is dead because they have no purpose of life. They don't know what they're doing. They have no realization what the real purpose of a life. So they are living for work or work for living. They don't know. Now I found something different human being I found in Bangladesh. They are all those poor economically. However, I see their eyes. It's coming like an aura, However, the people, they're all farmers and they see me like a first foreigner in their life. But they invited me for the cup of tea, they say chai, like milk tea, and the pita. Pita is like a sweet dish. So come, and then just eat. So I was just shocked. It never happened in Japan. First time you see the foreigner and then suddenly you invite to your home. It's never happened. But I experienced that in Bangladesh. So why like this? So that was, the starting point to think about Islam because I know they are all Muslims, basically. So maybe their behavior, their attitudes based on Islamic value. So after coming back to Japan, I started searching books on Islam because that time is still 1996, no internet yet. So I could find the information only from library or bookstore. So I found the Quran in Japanese language. That is the main source of information about Islam. So I found it and I started reading the Japanese translation. Then I found very unique concepts of akhirah, that is life after death, and the tawheed, the oneness of God, the creator. So that concept is very new to me. I've never think about in my life. That's why I just found the definition of God in the Quran clearly. mention, like Surah Ikhlas, for example, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Qul huwallahu ahad, say He is Allah, one and only, right? It's very simple, but that is kind of surprise for me. Oh, there is a definition of God. So, and I get very interested in reading, other parts of Quran, what actually written there, because it's like 600 pages long. So I need to check what this Creator or Allah is actually telling us. So I read it more personally, as if the Creator Allah is telling me personally. It's not 7th century book, but a present, like life lesson for me. I was curious, maybe something I can learn from this book. So eventually, I really agree, very basic concept about Akhirah and the oneness of God. Why I agree about the Akhirah, like I explained, I was big culture shock in Bangladesh because they are poverty, right? So I was thinking that time, why these people are poor? Simply because they are born in poor country, so they are poor. I mean, somebody just simply because they are born in Japan, their health or education are secured. And some people are simply born in Bangladesh, they are very poor. I mean, who has a right to decide? I mean, we have no right to decide where we are born. So it means our life is from the beginning is unequal. You cannot reject this. So from the very starting point, we have a huge gap, disparity in our life, and which you cannot really adjust in our life short span. So it means like I don't feel any justice there, because from the beginning is something already decided. However, after I read the Quran, I found the concept of Akhirah. Then it makes sense, because whatever we are given in this life is just a test. Whether you are given much or less, it's nothing to do with the final result. So let's say even someone born in Bangladesh under their difficult condition. However, if they are doing good things in this life, their life will be preserved in hereafter, which means they will enter paradise and they can live forever. And they will think about this life maybe maximum like 100 years. But the forever life is unlimited, right? When we compare 100 years in infinity is nothing, That's why this justice of the Akhirah give me the meaning in this life. So eventually, I felt that this Quran is not human-made. It's something like coming from Creator or Allah. So I more strongly believing this Quran is life-changing book, and then I want to follow it. Because the Islam is not just reading the book, the Quran. So I want to know how Muslims are actually feeling or practicing Islam in their daily life. How I can gain that kind of internal knowledge. How? The only one way, that is I myself have to become Muslim.